Hey everyone, this is Jerome Katarn back with another video, and today we're going to continue our build vlog for the MPP 2.5 from Korbanth, or known as Darth Vader's lightsaber hilt. Previous video we took it apart, we took all of the components apart, and I also showed you what I needed to modify and what you also need to modify if you're going to be making this hilt in the inner core, which I drilled and tapped 3 set screws for 8 32nd screws. Okay, these grub hole screws, they do not need to be too big. They're these tiny little screws. You can get them from the custom saber shop. And with that being said, we're going to be taking our hilt and the shroud, everything from the lightsaber away, because we're going to be focusing on a very important part that I failed to specify in the first video because I didn't have said materials on me. It is, of course, the electronics. Now, the electronics, as you can see right here, are needed because, well, you have to, without electronics, you will have a static prop. We're going to be making a working hilt. So I got my electronics from the custom saber shop, like I always do. And I got my battery from a local vendor here in Greece because getting pre-wired batteries to me was very costly. I could not find pre-wired batteries with JST connections and stuff, like the ones that I've used in previous builds. And not only were they very expensive, well, that was actually mainly the reason. Now, for at least 1/10 of the price for buying those batteries from the United Kingdom, I got this from a local vendor here. And from what I'm told, I am instructed that if I solder 2 wires here on each side, if I'm very careful, I do not make the wires touch anything, no discharges, nothing. He said that you should pretty much have a working battery. And this is something that I'm doing for the very first time, so if my lightsaber doesn't work, probably the battery doesn't either. So that's that. These are PCP board batteries. Let me just get it out to show you. This is an 8650 lithium-ion battery. It is 3,400 milliamps per hour, and these are the kind of batteries that essentially we use for lightsaber building. Now, mine is a rechargeable battery, and it is going to be connected to a recharge port. So I'm going to be soldering this, and I'm going to keep it into its plastic, encased into its plastic, shroud, if you will. I'm going to keep it here so that I do not have any, discharges and stuff. So I'm going to put this aside for now. And of course, before I go for the electronics, this is a Legend of, Zelda. No, this is a wiring color coding legend. Essentially, what I did actually, I wrote down the pads and the respective color that will go on each pad. It's a good practice to do, especially if you're not, like a super sabersmith that knows what to do. But I build these, from time to time. I don't build them like every second day. So I just also need to do my homework, and I wanted to make sure. You don't have to do this, but it's a good practice if you want to make absolutely sure that your hilt is working. Because this is like about my 8th build, and I still follow this protocol. These are the wires needed. I know they look kind of short, but trust me, if you paid attention to the previous video, you will notice that the LED inside the inner core with the chassis that we're going to be using is fairly close. Now, the distance is not huge. I mean, where my finger stops is, the total length of the hilt. So I guess that we're going to have a fair sense of motion with the soundboard, and the wires should suffice. I already measured them, and I think that it's going to work quite fine. What we're going to go over right now is the electronics from the custom saber shop. Now let us open this, and again, talking about customs, I really do not know how to predict these customs. Last time I bought a hilt, the customs were free of charge. And this time the hilt was free of charge, and I paid 45 friggin' euros, about $50 US, for import charges. I don't get it because I have bought electronics. At least I bought these electronics for I purchased a lot of electronics back in my day, and not once have I had to pay import charges for the electronics from the custom saber shop. I don't know. It's like I said, it depends on the clerk. It depends on, who is dealing with your stuff at the time. And if you're dealing with someone that, follows procedures and protocols and whatnot, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I'm not going to dignify the person right now. I don't know who it was, but oh well, I guess he was just doing his job. Let us do ours right now. Let's go over the electronics. So, right now, I'm going to go over the things I got from the custom saber shop. Standard heatsink module with the 18 degrees lens, of course, from the custom saber shop, and your red, white. I said that with green, white last time, so I guess I should stop right now. Anyway, so this is the LED module right here. Let me just align it. Two resistors, 1.2 ohm, 3 watt resistors, because if you're dealing with reds, you definitely need a resistor. You can get away with blues and greens, but yellows, ambers, oranges, and reds, anything that has to do with a shade of red needs resistors, because if you don't, they're gonna eventually burn out because they draw a lot of energy. It's simple physics, actually. So yeah. Next, we have our recharge port. We've done this a lot of times. I remember how to do this right now. If you look at it the way it is right now, this side here is the negative of the, let me check my cheat sheet. There we go. Yeah, this is the negative of the board. This is the negative of the battery, and the two positive prongs of the battery and board that will have a common wire here. So recharge port, check. I don't think I forgot anything else. A kill key for the inner core, which is reminiscent of Darth Vader's lightsaber. It fits perfectly, and it suits the hilt overall. So let me just get that out real quick. And since we're checking things, let me just see if this fits in here. This is a 1-inch diameter thing. So yeah, it fits nicely, very, very nicely. And with the retention screw here, it's just going to sit perfectly. And it's going to give us some depth with our blade, which shouldn't be a huge problem, actually. But oh well. I'd rather have a sturdy blade, even if it's just a little shorter. But oh well. So no, I need this here. What else do I have? Oh, last but not least, actually not last, we have the Prism 5.5 soundboard. I've worked with this before in my previous build, and the SD card, which I have specified and modified with the according sound fonts that I needed. One is with Darth Vader from Rogue One, the other is Count Dooku, and the other is, a standard dark side sound font. And in here, I believe, is our speaker. Let me just, open this up. I'll tell you what's up. Hold on. So yes, 28mm speaker. Now, some of you might like to go with the, bass speaker, which is a lot bulkier. But I like this slim profile. It's loud enough, and I'm actually quite satisfied with it. Be careful not to press the metal because you are going to screw it up. So, with that being said, let me just put everything here like I usually do. I put them on the upper edge of my mat. Whatever I don't need, I throw away instantly because you do not want to crowd your operating space. So, soundboard, SD card, sorry about that, SD card, soundboard. There we go. These are new prisms, by the way. Let me just throw this away, this one too. I don't need this either. So what we have is all of our components needed for the build. All right, so these are the electronics that we need to get started with our build. We also need our chassis, of course. If you do not have a chassis, you can order one from Goth 3D Designs. This battery is for show and tell. I'm pretty sure it's pooped out. It is not useful at all. So I'm just using it, for measuring purposes. I'm going to put it aside for now because we're going to be using the other one, and that's that. So if you've watched it up to now, these are the materials that you're going to be needing. You're going to be needing a whole lot of things from the custom saber shop. But if you do not know what you need, you can leave a comment down in the comments below, or you can ask me on Twitter at TPL723. You can ask me anything, or if you do not feel confident enough that you can make these, that's not a problem for me because I can build these for you. So I will know the materials. I'm working on one for a friend actually as we speak. I ordered his materials. He's going to be getting a different soundboard. He's going to be going with a Nano Biscotti version 4, which is the last batch of 2019, I believe. I don't know if they're going to upgrade to a version 5 or something, but we'll see. So that's that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's just go over the materials again. Speaker. This goes to the top, actually. Kill key. The LED module. This, by the way, this Tri-Cree is not the modified base. This is a standard stock Tri-Cree, which, you know, is kind of the one with the modified base. I don't know if you've seen my previous videos, pretty much have the edges here trimmed. But to me, it doesn't make any difference because I could actually use the surface area to be able to angle the LED star onto my copper heatsink. So you have your whole LED module here. There we go. That's it. Let me just bring it here. I'm kind of nifty and all that shit. So kill key, LED module. Then you have your soundboard, of course, your recharge port, your resistors for the LED, your speaker, and of course your chassis. Now, I would have bought some switches, but I do not need switches because I have my switch section already installed in my inner core. So if your hilt does not come with switches, you need to order some switches. That being said, this completes today's portion of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next part when we actually start putting this shit together. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. I appreciate your support. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you when we start building the hilt. Until then, I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. General Katarn, out.